update. There has been a lot of updates since the last video I dropped, which was about 3 weeks ago. In the last video that I recorded, I was actually still in the phase of pumping where I wasn't actually getting any milk out. I was just stimulating. And it just so happened that literally the day after I recorded the video, I started getting 1 milliliter of milk a day. So I did drop some updates, like some shorts. I dropped some short videos in between the videos, just so you guys can kind of see my progress in the last couple of weeks. I don't really make YouTube vlogs every single week like I should. I'm going to try to get on top of that, but I do try to drop shorts in between the vlogs. Stay tuned. My wife will be dropping her next bump date, so you guys make sure that you check into that. We did our 20-week ultrasound last week, so I'm pretty sure she'll be recapping that with you guys. I would like to talk about food. So what you eat has a huge impact on how much milk you're producing. I'll probably do another video of myself making the oatmeal bars that I've been making myself. Those have actually been helping me increase my milk supply significantly. I've seen a 1 milliliter increase almost every single day for the last 2 weeks out of every pump. Now I'm pumping about 4 milliliters per pump, which I'm supposed to pump like 8 times a day. Being a business owner and stay-at-home mom and preparing for this baby, I don't always have time to pump 8 times a day, so sometimes it's more like 5 or 6 times a day, sometimes 4 on the really busy days, but it doesn't really matter how much I pump. I'm still producing the same amount of milk each pump. So if I don't pump as much one day, I'll see that in my next pump supply. And of course, I put this tank top on because it's easy for me to pop out. But of course, I do the cocoa butter, and that makes a huge difference as well. Every time that I've tried to pump without any oil or anything like that on my boob, it hurts really bad. I have gotten to the point where I'm starting to get like engorged. So what I have to do is I've had to incorporate some massages to kind of keep the milk flowing, especially before I pump, because I'm able to find like different like milk pockets that are more full than others, and it kind of helps the milk to come out if I just massage it a little bit before I pump. Warm water as well, hot showers, hot baths, that's another big one that I really see a difference in my pump when I pump. When I take a hot bath or a hot shower, steam right before I pump, that also helps the milk flow just a little bit better. Of course, I'm still starting my vacuum down really low. I'm starting to have like breast cramps when it's time for me to pump. So it could get a little painful if I don't massage it, or say I didn't pump late as I normally pump. When I wake up for my morning pump, I definitely have like a lot of cramping down here and on the side. So it just helps to rub it out a little bit, rub it out. I'll make sure I put that in the tips at the end of the video. Okay, so let's talk about food. So I've started looking into different recipes to help up my milk supply. Grains, wheats, oats, granolas, bread, rice, pasta. I'm not really a big oatmeal person, but rice and pasta I love. So I've been trying to incorporate a little bit more rice into my meals. I have found a way to kind of cheat the oatmeal, 1 bowl of oatmeal per every 2 or 3 days, however much that they put in the protocol that I should eat. But I've kind of manipulated that myself and did a little research on Amazon. There are a lot of different companies that sell like supplemental teas and treats and stuff like that for women that are lactating. Me personally, I'm pretty holistic, so anything that I see food wise, I'm going to try to make myself, and that's actually been working out. I found a recipe that included it's more like a oatmeal cookie, but I make it like a brownie, and I'll do a video, or if I don't do a video on me actually making the oatmeal bars, then I'll just throw like a little clip of the oatmeal bars that I eat, or I might just do like a small little short of me preparing the dough that I use to make the oatmeal. But that's typically like what I see on the markets as far as Amazon when it comes to supplements and treats and teas. And I know mother's milk was a really big one that my wife and I had looked into. She had already had some mother's milk. I don't even know where she had that mother's milk from, but she already had some tea bags of mother's milk. And I just make like a basic oatmeal cookie dough from oatmeal. I do put a little bit of peanut butter just for the protein. Put a little bit of peanut butter in there, and the mother's milk tea. I do put other so I've been kind of trying to spice it up a little bit. Some weeks I'll do just oatmeal and peanut butter, and some weeks I'll incorporate like other herbs, or I tried like a salted caramel type of thing last week. I didn't really like how it went. I don't like how it baked together. Probably because I didn't have any eggs at the time, and I was up in the middle of the night, and I was noticing that my milk supply was a little shy of what I had been getting, which is completely normal. But when I do see myself having drier days, I definitely try to up my oatmeal. Oatmeal is like the biggest one, but again, I still from day to day try to eat some pasta or some bread or some oatmeal or something like that that could cause my milk supply to increase. And that's another little thing that I've been doing as well, is the little shake, and that just helps me drop the milk down into the bottle. Sometimes it'll just hang off the tip of my nipple, and so also I'll move the pump around because there are different milk pockets that need to be released, and I can feel them when they're hard, but I can normally just move the pump around to the milk dud to the milk pocket that needs to be released. Even breast massages, like while I'm pumping, sometimes that helps too. And you guys will probably start to see, I can show you guys. It's been 8 minutes, and this is what I've gotten so far. Normally it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to pump out about 4 milliliters. Sometimes I don't pump all 4 milliliters. Like the days that I feel a little bit more full and more crampy in the boobs, like sometimes I'll just pump 2.5 or 3, or I might just pump 2.5 and then give myself a break and then pump another time like an hour later, just so I don't feel the over crampiness that's in my boobs. That can get a little painful. I did make the mistake last week of going almost an entire day without pumping, and I pumped about 5.5 milliliters the next day. Like I woke up with my boobs stuck under me, like over here. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never doing that again. Because when I hooked up to the machine, the amount of cramping that I felt in my chest and in my rib cage was just like almost unbearable. I didn't really want to pump that day, but I knew that if I didn't, then I wasn't going to get any relief. Another thing as well I'm starting to notice is I can feel where the milk needs to be released from. So, you know, if I have too strong of a cramp somewhere, I normally grab it and just work it until I see a spray or a squirt or something come out, and that just lets me know that I got the spot, because the cramp normally will go away, the milk will spray, and then it won't spray anymore. Like I'll drain it out. Once I drain it out, I I can tell when I've drained it out because the milk will start dropping drastically slower. Today is more of a drier day. I have not, yesterday and today were a little dry because I haven't had the time to make any oatmeal bars this week, so I can definitely see the difference when I eat the oatmeal and I don't eat the oatmeal. Just based off of what I eat throughout the week, sometimes that isn't enough to help me produce milk. So I definitely see a difference when I eat the oatmeal bars or when I drink the mother's milk tea. I definitely see an increase in my milk supply. I did go on Amazon and order, like, they're called Flanges. They're like different sizes for the inside of your breast pump. They kind of hold your nipple a little bit more snug. I bought it was like a pack of 10, size for different women's breasts. And honestly, out of all of the Flanges, they were all pretty soft too. They were soft. They came on, I got them from Amazon. I can drop a link for that in the description. I did get them from Amazon. They were next day shipped, but I did not need them. I didn't need them. Obviously, I've gotten a pretty big increase in boob size. So when I first started pumping, my entire nipple was fitting into the suction, like entire nipple. But now that I've been on the secondary hormone for 9 weeks now, I don't need any assistance. My nipple is just fine in the standard flange that the Spectracy comes with. I did have to do a little bit of research. I started producing milk, a nice supply of milk, and I looked up one day and I'm like, how long am I supposed to stay on this secondary hormone? I went back into my protocol from my lactation consultant, and it didn't have any direction on how long to take the secondary hormone. It didn't have any direction on when to stop. It didn't have how to wean off, if I needed to wean off. So I connected with a Facebook group, and that's where I was supplied the secondary hormone from a vendor that I met through a Facebook group. And they also have a support group for breastfeeding moms that are going through the same process that I'm going through. And I just went in there and I dropped a quick little comment, and I was like, hey, I'm producing my milk now. How long am I supposed to take this hormone? Do I need to take this for the duration of the pregnancy? Should I continue taking it once the baby gets here? Once the baby gets here, will I be producing enough milk to stop? Like, I didn't really know how long I was supposed to take it. So after I did a little bit of digging, I did consult with my vendor, and she's so sweet. Like, she'll put together an entire lactation plan for you if you need it. But she did inform me that I would need to take the hormone for the duration of my breastfeeding journey, which is fine. I had already wrapped my mind around that. I haven't seen any side effects that would cause me not to want to take the hormone for an extended amount of time. Again, like I said in my last video, I'm not really big on taking medication, but luckily I haven't had any bad side effects. Honestly, it feels like I'm eating candy all day. Not candy, but it doesn't really have a taste. But it feels like I'm literally just taking nothing 4 times a day. Let me switch. Another thing that I'm trying to get used to as well is being comfortable enough to breast pump, like around family and friends and stuff like that. Like, I normally try to plan my pumping around my day, but I'm starting to get to the point where sometimes I can't do that. Sometimes I just have to stop and pump, which it'll be just like that when the baby gets here. So that's something I'm not used to, having like my whole boob out in front of people. I have ordered a couple of blankets and stuff for us for when we're breastfeeding. Oh, this titty is squirting today. And normally this is my milkier titty as well. Like, I always get a bunch of milk out of here. It's my better boob, I guess. I don't know. This will probably be the boob that she eats the most off of. But yeah, I'll show you another. It's been 20 minutes. I wish you guys could see how, like, it squirts like that. It's crazy. But it's hard to catch it because I got a lot of oil and stuff going on in here, and it gets a little cloudy once the milk starts pouring out. So that's another thing. Like, I saw a mother that was in the same lactation journey, and she was saying to put like a sock over the bottle so you don't overthink it. I'm a little OCD. Like, I like to see what I'm doing. So I never, that really wasn't of interest to me. But I do know that some women may overthink, like, the pumping, and that could cause stress. And stress releases a hormone in your body called oxytocin. And oxytocin puts a dent in your breast milk. So you don't, if you feel like you're stressing too much over how much milk you're producing, the sock might be recommended. But again, for me, I'm actually pretty happy with what I've been producing over the last couple of weeks. So I just like to sit and watch how much milk I got coming out. Yeah, but other than that, it's been a beautiful journey. I definitely set weekly goals on how much milk I think that I can pump out. And every goal that I've set myself, I have reached each week. The first week, I believe my goal was to fill the entire 1 milliliter syringe. And I might grab one of those and just show you guys like the difference between the syringe and the bag. But it was easier before I started actually pumping milk out like this. It was easier to use a syringe because sometimes it would literally be like this much milk, but I didn't want to waste it because it was colostrum. So I did order some syringes, some oral syringes from Amazon. I ordered a pack of 20, and I filled all 20 within a 2-week time frame. I went from pumping 1/4 of a milliliter to pumping 1/2 milliliter like the next day, to pumping a full milliliter like 2 or 3 days later, to pumping 2 syringes a day. And I did that all the way up until I filled up all of the syringes. Once I was done filling up the syringes, I started pumping out about this much milk. I was getting about this much a pump. And I started to fill those in the milk bags. And I'm also going to grab one of the milk bags as well to show you guys just a little bit of my progress. I do freeze every single night. So since I've switched over to the milk bags, I typically pump 3, sometimes 4 times. And I'm about at half of a milk bag now. I'm filling up about half a milk bag, which is between 4 and 5 milliliters. But hopefully my goal for next week is to start to fill the entire milk bag. Fill the entire milk bag per day. So if I can pump out, and I believe those milk bags are like, don't give me the line. I'm going to just go get one of the milk bags so you guys can see how many milliliters are in each bag. But I'm pretty sure I'll be filling up those bags by the end of next week. I want a contract deal, maybe. In the meantime, that's about all. We've been getting a lot of support from all of our family, all of our friends. Everybody's extremely intrigued on how this is even possible, how we're doing it. It requires a lot of discipline and a lot of work. So I'm a smoking mom. I smoke. That has been something else that I had to get very disciplined in because I don't want THC in the breast milk. So that was a little bit of a struggle in the beginning, but now it's not so much. I hardly smoke anymore just because getting the milk out of my boobs is a little bit more important, because that hurt. It hurt. It hurt too bad. And I would rather feed the child than smoke some weed. But nevertheless, I do still smoke. I just make sure that I wait it out. If I smoke, I normally wait 4 to 6 hours before I try to pump any breast milk. Outside of that, I'm gonna go grab one of these milk bags. I'm gonna go grab one of the syringes so that you guys can see the difference, the increase over the last 2 weeks. I'll show you what 1 milliliter in a syringe looks like and what a half a bag of milk looks like, because I ain't filled the whole bag up yet. But I do have about 15 or 20 half bags. Oh, time's up. Let me grab that real quick. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to do this real quick because it's not safe to let the milk unthaw and then refreeze it. So this was what I started pumping at first. And it's labeled. It shows you how many milliliters that you're pumping at a time. Well, damn. Shows you how many milliliters that you're pumping at a time. I started off like about 2, and then I progressed to 4, then about 5, and then out of nowhere I just filled up the entire syringe. I think one day I looked up and I pushed out 2 of these and I was like, oh my gosh. So this is from the beginning. This is my last night's pump. This is the milk bag, and as you can see, it also has it tells you how much milk that you've pumped out. And I believe this is about a milliliter. Yeah, I pumped out about 180 milliliters and 6 ounces yesterday. Yesterday was a really good pump, but I pumped like 4 times yesterday because I was pumping out slow. It was still steady, but I just had a slow pump day, probably because I had pumped a lot the day before. That was the day that I didn't really have time to pump, and so I pumped and I pumped and I pumped and I pumped and I pumped. So yesterday I was getting milk that was coming out. It just took me a little bit longer to pump it out. And then this is from this morning, and that's right at I'm sorry, you guys can't see it. The bag is translucent, so that was about 4.5. I'm squeezing it. That was about 4 ounces this morning, and this is only my second pump. So I had 6 ounces all day yesterday, 4.5 or a little over 4 ounces this morning, and I'm still pumping currently. I just have to stop real quick because I'm going to go put these back real quick because they are already frozen. Well, this one's not frozen, but this is already frozen, and the syringe is already frozen. So this is going to be the first milk that she drinks. This is mostly colostrum, all 20 of these. This one is more milky, but the first ones that I pumped are a little darker. So those are the ones that I'll probably feed her first when she first gets here, and then we'll move into the milk bags. So yeah, that was that. I am sorry because I'm recording a video. I'm not really too focused on my boob and what's going on down here, so it's a little bit hard for me to. Normally I pump out a little bit more than this because I'm actually feeling around and I go find the milk spots that are really full. But today I'm actually not that full. Like, I've been staying pretty on top of my pump schedule. So I haven't really been too over full. I still get about 3 to 4 milliliters per pump. A lot of times I get on the phone and I start talking and I'm not looking, and I still push out milk. It's just not as much as I could have pushed out had I paid attention and actually helped the milk come down. That's about all I got for y'all. I think we about to do our baby haul. Our daughter has so much stuff. Oh yeah, it's not for my mom. I'll just show you guys this since this it's not technically clothes, but my mom just got her this cutest little nursery rhyme like book, and it like sings and it does.
Baby Einstein.
It does.
Hello, friends.
It has a book that came with it as well, a couple of books, so it'll read the book to the baby. I like reading to the baby.
Hello when friends come by, and when they leave, we say goodbye.
Goodbye. So yeah, personally, I like to read to the baby, but that'll be fun for her to interact with. There's something for her to hear while she's laying on her back. I did keep my milk bag out from today. So you can keep your milk. You don't want to leave your milk sitting out. You do if you're not going to use it or if you're not doing anything with it. I would recommend that you refrigerate it right away. I did a little research on Google. Google says that you can have breast milk in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. I don't really trust that. My lactation consultant said to freeze it right away if you're not going to use it. So I typically don't let it go over 24 hours being in the refrigerator before I freeze it, because she won't be here for another 4 months. So yeah, it just makes sense for me to freeze it as fresh as I possibly can until she gets here. But it being out of the refrigerator for a couple of minutes while I finish up this pump so I can put some more milk into the bag won't do any damage to the milk. Yeah, that was a pretty quick update. Oh, and this is like Milk City. I don't know what it is about this area and this area down here, but those areas are extremely hard to get the milk out of. So most of the time I'm pumping, I'm doing like this, because when I do that, my milk just comes down. I think I have covered everything. I will come back with another update. I'll show you guys kind of some of the stuff that I eat to help myself up my milk supply. I've been tripling it for the last 4 weeks. Every day I've been seeing at least a half a milliliter increase, which is wonderful. I definitely have enough milk for her to eat her whole first week of being home. She's got enough already. So hopefully by the time she gets here, I done pumped about enough for her at least 2 or 3 months. And then of course my wife is going to be breastfeeding as well, but that'll just give her some time where she doesn't have to rush and have to hurry up and get her milk supply to come down, and have to hurry up and teach the baby how to latch, and have to hurry up. It's a very quick process, and if she can't do it, I mean, hell, that's what I'm here for. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I did make an outro for our YouTube video, so that will be on here. Make sure y'all tune into our other videos. Our how we got pregnant video, our what we used to get pregnant video, my last lactation updates, her bump dates. I'm pretty sure she's going to be dropping one of those within the next week. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. See you guys soon.
In the meantime, it's not going well. Just some me time. Hope you know what you want. Crib by the beach like Odell. Over my killers don't tell. Shadow my mark of the New York the shelf. Now my picture to Chanel. Will you be my leading lady? I wanna coach you and get a little maybe. In the meantime, it's not going well. Get some me time. I don't know if you know what you want. Only been a few hours, but it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast and you do what you want. In the meantime, it's not going well. Get some me time. You do what you want. In the meantime,